So what about Alex talked about left field now that you got the kid from Seattle?
Yeah.
Not a kid anymore, but now with him and Vaughn.
Well, it kind of is. He's only 24.
Yeah. You feel good about that
Yeah.
arrangement?
No, I do. And I said we're going spring training just like we did last year. We got 30 games to kind of see what it looks like and where we're going to go. But I know I just excited about seeing this kid. Just talked to a few of my scouting buddies here and people that have seen him, and it sounds like he's a tooled up, really nice-looking player. That he's just, you say he's a kid.
You guys have always had a pretty successful hitting program, and I'm curious, have you talked to Seitz at all? Just his excitement to get to work with him? And
No.
kind of unlock some of that?
No, I haven't.
Would you remember him facing you
No,
guys?
I don't remember him at all. Say I can't remember what I had for breakfast, let alone. No, I just know, just talking to people, how talented the kid is. So, it'll be good for him to get in with our group, I think. And like you say, our program and what we do and how we approach things. And I think it'll be really beneficial for a young, talented player.
How beneficial is it just to have a lot of the power arms back with Pierce Johnson and then add Reynaldo Lopez and Evans?
Bummer. I mean, it's great. I talked to Pierce after the season was over. He came in and I was like, you know what? Don't be surprised if Alex doesn't act kind of quick on you, because he did such a good job. Lopez, I remember seeing him, watching him. I'm excited, really excited to get him into our system. Bummer also, talked to him. He's ecstatic about being here, and I think what we bring to the defense, the game planning. Everything that we do, I think, is beneficial to a new player that we get.
I'm looking at that coaching staff. That's been so important just to have. You feel good about where you're going.
Yeah.
To fill those voids.
Yeah. No, you know what? We're in discussions. We're kind of doing our due diligence. We don't feel pressured to do anything, and it's just like the players that we lost. These guys were all three of them were very beneficial in our success. But I just always feel like we're not ever. We've created a situation where we're not defined by one player, one coach. We're going to fill the voids. It'll be still continue to be really good. And I told Alex, that's the price of success. I mean, people want your people, which is great opportunities for all those guys.
What do you think of
the decision to have Ronald go and play the full winter ball season down in Venezuela? To have him go.
That's up. Ronald wanted to play. Pretty much.
Have you been following what he's been doing?
I'm sorry?
Have you been following what he's
Yeah, I see it on, some of the highlights and all that kind of stuff. He's a baseball player. He likes to play baseball. So it's...
By the same token, Grissom going to Puerto Rico to
Yeah.
play left field, or you've seen enough of his athleticism to feel
Yeah.
confident?
No, it'll be interesting to, and that was kind of he wants to go do that. And the versatility and what he's got going on, we all know the kid can hit. So it'll be interesting because I think he starts next couple days. It'll be nice to see him down there and running around the outfield.
The sad news about Paul Snyder last
Yeah.
week. I'm wondering, do you still see his influence on the organization in terms of consistent winning? Absolutely.
Paul's stamp will never be erased on this organization and who he was, what he did for this organization, the man that he was. I was lucky. Right before the season ended, I spoke to him on the phone, and he and Petey was in the background, and I said that guys like he and Phil Necro, there wouldn't be any bigger supporters of the Atlanta Braves than guys like that. So I was blessed to be raised by Hall of Famers, and him being one of them.
So what'd you think of Alex coming out and being really adamant about people knowing that you're not trading any of these young players that sign these long-term extensions before they...
No, it's good. I mean, I think it's as much for those guys to hear that as anything. And it's a quality group of guys. That it's kind of that's pretty good core to build around and to have. I think it's, like I say, it's probably more beneficial for those individual players, because it's a business. Things happen, and it's nice that Alex did that.
Just nice of them not to have to even look over their shoulder.
Exactly. No, it is, because it's just like guys we've lost to free agency and trades and everything is part of the business.
Without saying, exactly who you might be pursuing. When you look at that roster, how could you improve that roster over the next?
Oh, I don't know. I think you can always probably improve or make changes that are beneficial to you. If we went to spring training tomorrow, I'd feel really good about who we got in tow right now. I feel really good about our team again. And after, it's a group of driven guys. So, I say the only thing Alex is ever guilty of is working tirelessly to make this thing better.
How important was it to you that as long as Charlie wanted to pitch again, that you guys brought him back?
No, it's good. I think the fact of not having Charlie is scarier than, so I'm glad. And what he's doing is just amazing. I mean, he had one of his better years this year. And, so it makes you feel good that you don't have to go out and replace him, because it's hard to find Charlie Morton out there, in a trade or in the open market.
By just knowing that Matt's is coming back.
Yeah.
He's one of them I can think of that'll be helping there.
Oh no, it's great. I'm sure he can't wait to get to spring training and get this thing going. I mean, he loves to compete. He was around in all his absence. He wasn't absent. I mean, he was there with the guys every day, and that's a presence that you can't replace.
How excited are you to see the strides that Smith Shopper continues to make?
Yeah.
And maybe Waldrop in spring training.
No, it's great. Yeah, I mean, they're all as they pitch and the more innings they get, the better they're going to be. I mean, they're going to figure things out. Love AJ, everything, the upside, what he brings. I'll be excited to see Waldrop. Also, I heard a lot of great things about him. I had a brief meeting with him when he signed, so it'll be cool to see those guys in spring training.
What was the biggest asset that Drew French brought to your staff?
Yeah.
And what made him so valuable?
No, I'm so happy for Drew. He's ready for this. I think his time with Cranny just helped him develop more. But the guy was a tireless worker. I told Brandon this when they hired him. I said, nobody's going to, you're not going to out-prepare this guy. He's going to be ready every single day. I think the biggest thing stuck out for me is when his first year, it's not easy to be a bullpen coach. That's a surly group, and how those guys gravitated to him, I think was really impressed me, with the veteran guys like Will Smith and Darren O'Day and guys like that, and Matzik and Minter, all those guys, how they took to him, because they knew he knew what he was talking about. And like I said, I talked to him yesterday. I'm excited for him to get this opportunity because he's ready for it.
A lot of people seem to be kind of dismissive of Elders all making the All-Star team because of the second half fade. Do you look forward to him having a second full season, what he can do now?
No, I think now he's, like I say, anytime I kind of talk about going tee to green, they don't know till they do it and make those starts. And I guarantee you his preparation this winter will be different than it was the winters before, because he knows what he's in for. So I think he's just going to continue to build on the experiences that he had last year. Oh, it was awesome. I texted him right after I heard, and because I'm like, I feel a kindred spirit there with him, and where he came from. And he's always been a guy I know in spring training that will sit and talk for, I could sit and talk to him forever, because I know he's been through everything that I'm experiencing. And he's a guy, that I used to have Bobby I could call him, I know, tomorrow, and he'd pick the phone up if I had something I wanted to bounce off of him. So I'm really happy that he's being recognized like that. That's awesome.
There was a lot of talk during the postseason that some of the teams with the most regular season wins that got knocked out.
Yeah.
Dodgers, Tampa Bay, Baltimore. Everyone said they want to think about it, had some ideas. What do you think was there a theme? Was there a threat?
No, I just think it's hard when you shut this thing down for 5 days. I mean, we're an industry and a sport that, and the biggest thing is because I thought, 2 years ago we did one thing. Last year I thought we did the best we could as far as keeping the guys ready. They were engaged. Everything was great. But you know what? That adrenaline and all that baseball players play by is hard to ramp back up. And you know what? We're going to go to spring training trying to win the division and put ourselves in the same position this year. You know what? We'll just have to try and figure out a better way to keep these guys prepared. But you know what? It's what it is. I mean, anything can happen in playoff baseball, as we know, and I tell the guys, until you get a seat at the table, you don't know what's going to happen. And you know what, you could take a day off and play and have the same thing happen. There's just no rhyme or reason to the whole thing. We just got to, do a better job trying to stay ready.
You guys had a historic offense, but I remember you mentioned Philly just brought in a bunch of those high, velocity relievers. How, as the series kind of set in the weeks after, how much was that a takeaway, just the type of arms they could bring out of that bullpen?
Oh, no, it was really good. I mean, they did a great job in stocking that bullpen. I mean, that was kind of one of their sticking points, I guess, the couple of years before, but they did a great job and that, and that's one of the things that I think as a hitter's timing is it's hard to replicate that. In a playoff situation, and as we know, runs are hard to come by in the playoffs, and they have a good formula for it because they hit a lot of long balls and had velocity, which I think our bullpen did a great job also in the playoff series. So we're in good shape for all that too.
Did you see Alex kind of building something similar? You had a great bullpen the last few years, but adding the high velo guys that he has.
No, I think it's great because we know how important that bullpen is over the course of the summer too. So I think I love the arms that we've added, and I kind of feel like Joe Jimenez having a normal offseason and getting him, because how he finished was really, really good, and I think we're going to see a 6-month product out of him that's really, really good also.